Yeah. All right. Well, nice to see everyone. Hey, Chris and Olympia and Gary, Kerry, William, Anu, Stephen, Eric, Miak, back in Australia, David, still in Australia, Kerry, finishing his tortellini, Kathleen, she's the source of all misery. Name Kathleen, yes. And yeah, the message, mm, it's such a unique little spin. Uh, it's hard to sort of apply at times. But how I heard the message varied, actually. When I first heard it, I heard it as Paul. Yeah. And then very shortly thereafter, I saw the hearing it as Paul was the problem, so to speak. And then that actually set me off on the right trail, and all roads led back to this idea of Paul. Yeah. So I parked there and I started to be moved, and I had opportunities to speak. And a lot of misunderstandings arose. One of them was that the condition needed my condition to be in a certain condition to come through. That was a big thing. And that fell apart quite early on, around 30 something years ago. I had ample evidence that whatever was moving through and what I intimate of where it's coming from had gave no relevance to my condition whatsoever as a priority of it coming in or out. So that was a big one. And then I saw that movement of claiming. First, there was still a feeling that I was the one doing the claiming. Yeah, which drags on to a lot of guilt and shame and another sense of how am I gonna stop doing a lot of this stuff I didn't know I was doing. And then I had a sense that it was mechanical, and that made a huge effect. And when I would share, I would see the same reactions I had of hearing the message from others. Yeah, where that sort of aroma of volition or choice or doership would just be sort of hanging in the air. And of course, if you felt you were doing something, you would probably not be able to see it clearly as if you saw it as if it's not you. When it's not you, then there can be a fearless and thorough inventory. You can see it because you don't have any dog in the hunt. Yeah, it's just not you. And then that sense of mechanicalness and the speed of it in time became important. Uh, it was obvious that something, before I even seemingly come to as Paul, there was that coming to as Paul becoming the natural starting point was manufactured. That was blew my mind also. And I didn't know the idea of time like permeated everything in how I thought and saw and perceived stuff. Yet that which is perceiving is not of time. And so I could see where I used to look from, and that blew my mind. And then I saw the migration from this idea of Paul. uh, I knew where it departed from, but I found out where it arrived. Yeah. But it left, I lost interest in Paul to a sufficient amount that things started to occur. Like we have it in recovery, and a lot of the effects of recovery uh, pivot on this idea of losing interest in self. The small s self. And when it sounds like, oh wow, well, not knowing that you are the embodiment of interest in self, you make another vow, I'm going to lose interest in self. And not knowing that that vowing to lose interest in self is more interest in self. Yep. Now, once you see that pattern, it's part of every crime, so to speak. So you start recognizing, wow, uh, my wanting to get out of something was a bigger form of being in it. Yeah, wow, I had no idea. I thought the wanting to get out of it was natural, a natural, organic, very clear response to something that I was in that was very uncomfortable. But I didn't know that I wasn't in it. Yeah, it never even came. And I would pay a lot of consequences to have a feeling of being out of it. I would do almost anything to get that feeling of being out of it. But that feeling of being out of it was sort of like a magic trick and a bigger magic trick. I had no idea, none whatsoever until I saw it. And then it was like, it was an open and closed case as soon as I saw it. And then, uh, I saw that most of the movement of this activity of the action figure, obviously it's it's defined by a dualistic movement. So a lot of times what it thinks it's in, it's not, and therefore it's wanting to get out is actually the bigger in. Yeah. And again, it's trying to get out of getting into something that you're not out of. So when you try to get into something you're now out of, it verifies this insane idea that you could be out of it. Yeah, you can watch it with the getting into the moment. The whole movement of people being interested in getting into the moment was predicated on a misbelief that they could be out of the moment. It's just that simple, obviously. You look at it. Because once you realize you can't be out of the moment, you're not buying books of how to get into the moment. You're just not. It's not, you won't even take, even if it's 50 cents, it's on sale, you're not going to get it because you can't be out of the moment. Yeah. It just makes it completely ends like a stream. Yeah. And let's say, in a way, your ocean doesn't seem infinite. And the the leaking of all of its oceanness through these mental streams, yes, has an effect. Yeah. And when those streams dry up and that water doesn't move, you get a sense of it, which may not be readily available when there's a lot of streams that are acting out like an outlet. Yes. So uh, it's not that we're unconscious, it's we're super conscious of something. So like self-conscious has its shadow or its dualistic movement, which is we act as if we're unconscious of something else. Yeah. So when we're self-conscious, there's that a lot here produces a lack somewhere else. Yeah. So I never believed that the bigger problem was wanting to get out. I thought the biggest problem was I was in something. Yeah. And basically, the logic that I have was driven by and directed by was based on the former. I believed I was in hell, so to speak, and I wanted to get out of hell. And then the getting out of hell was the activity of hell. Oh man. So once this stuff starts whacking you, this is what probably got us suspended in Zoom, Zen bitch slap. You get a Zen bitch slap. Yeah. Sorry, Zoom. You get a Zen bitch slap. You see what you used to look from. Seriously. Yeah. Here, that which is looking can look from places. And when it's looking from a place that's a denial of what's looking, yes, it ends up trying to look for what's looking, all the while being that which is looking. Yes? So these cryptic non-duality jokes take time for the punchline to get delivered. Yeah. But when you hear them and you're available, they're quite succinct. They whack. And then certain things that were leaking and still there was interest going there every day dry up. Yeah. And now that all that interest and attention that was going hither and thither and this and that, a large amount of it, and there's an infinite availability, is resting in itself, which is presence. Yeah. I truly believe undirected interest and attention is presence. That's the presence. Yeah. So, and that's really uh, the exclamation point of the message. Yeah. You have a sense that you are what you're looking for. Yeah. And that sense doesn't stay as you are what you're looking for. The looking for is severely dropped. Yes. You don't do it, it just dries up. Because the whole driving force was ignorance or misunderstanding has been corrected. And when it's corrected, there was never the misdirection. Yes? In other words, there was no loss when you were trying to win. There was no loss. It's always available at all times, right where you are, with no requirement to meet it. Yeah. So, like, what did we say a couple of weeks ago? The three statements: uh, being ourselves, reality, upon having never left, and I need do nothing. Yeah. So, being ourselves, reality is the basis of the next two, which is upon having never left. Yeah. And I need do nothing. Yes. Now, if it was being Paul, I need to do a lot and I got to keep on arriving. Yeah. Because I haven't found it yet. But no, being ourselves reality, all of my trips I'm always greeted with upon having never left, and therefore I need do nothing. Yeah. Even though there'll be a lot of doing, the spirit of it will be I need do nothing. Yeah. Because a lot of people are trying to do a lot by doing nothing. Yeah. But there's a point where you're doing nothing and you may be doing a lot, but you're doing nothing. Yeah. It's pretty cool. So uh, I feel satsang, if you're here, it's sufficient. Yes. All the lifting that was used to fail you has already been successful. Here you are. So you just come here like Christy or something, and a song that she knows very well, she hears on the radio. So she may dance while she's cooking, something like that. And it's just a nice familiarity. And satsang plays that role. Yeah. So you know what it's like when you feel this warmth and you all the engines have turned off and you're just chilled. And then you can come and sit in a garage full of action figures, not driving, not looking for anything, and chill out. And then get back on the road again and drive around. And the sense of satsang is quite in the dreaming, it's the most, uh, it's a great example of the ever-present constancy. Yeah. I feel the same way every time I come to satsang. I do. There's things like certain notes were hit, or the song went in a different way than it usually goes, or someone shares a beautiful thing. But basically, the sense of presence is exactly the same. Yeah. It's the same as when my eyes are open or they're closed. There's nothing that changes. Yeah. I'm looking, and then, yeah. Here, I'm looking and I'm looking. Does it feel like something stops when you turn your eyes down? Your lids go down? No, it feels the exact same as when I'm looking at things, uh, than when I go like this. Yeah. So I hope satsang does the thing that it does with me. It's just a beautiful reminder of a song I already know. Yeah. Great. Yeah. So if anyone has any questions today, other than why can't I get on the website or whatever, um, I'm here and we can explore if you like. Nice to see Gary C. William Stamps. All right, William. He's put his real arm up. Yeah. We can't hear you, William.
Now,
Yes.
serious, dealing with some serious pain, okay,
Serious pain
uh, resulting from an anxiety disorder.
from pain from an anxiety disorder.
It's been a long-winded one. It goes and comes, it goes and comes. But I'm in it really intense today. I'd just like to share that, maybe get some feedback.
I can't hear you so well, but try again. You had something happen today and you want to get
Got
share.
intense today.
You had tests.
Oh, it got intense.
Oh, intense. Oh, intense. Oh, wow. Yes.
It's like peeking out, peeking out. And I just thought maybe I get some feedback from the group of you, way to deal with it other than my medication, which only does so much, but it doesn't get rid of it. So I'm just leaving it at that.
Yeah. Breathing, obviously. Breathing.
Breathing.
Yeah, you have to do a conscious, deeper breath than the head triggers. The head, when people go into a panic attack, their breathing is very short, yes, and they're sort of synonymous. They have a role to play. So you can do something that may alleviate some of the intensity. And it's taking deep breaths and really following it, yeah. And maybe hold it. You can take a breath, hold it for 4 seconds, let it out. Hold that for 4 seconds, take a breath. Yes, on and on. And then after 10 breaths, it may change the sense that you're feeling.
We have been doing breathing many years ago. I've been in a breathing process, but it never really alleviated the issue. But I'll give it another shot.
Yeah, give it another shot. You can learn pranayama. It works with the breath. These are just things I ran into. Acupuncture was very helpful. I lost you again.
I have to admit, I'm getting very discouraged.
You're getting disturbed.
Discouraged.
Oh, discouraged.
The best I can.
That can be good in a way. Yeah.
I'm trying not to say work too hard or put too much effort into trying to get out of something I'm not in. I'm listening to these things religiously, so to speak, and I'm not going anywhere. You know, I'm really just stuck, and I'm feeling quite desperate. But I'll try the breathing again. See
And
what.
remember just the thing, this too has happened to you and it has passed, yes?
Oh, it's kind of been more or less a constant thing.
More or less a constant thing.
I get older and I'm almost 90. So it's not an easy road right now.
Hmm.
I'm really putting myself out sharing this.
No, we're happy. This is a, you know, this is the space of satsang. It's great.
I just really share that.
You know, I don't have any expertise because what you're describing, I understand, but I've never had it constantly.
I understand. I mean, I'm not asking for magic. I'm just
Yeah,
figuring out where I'm at. And
yeah.
it seems like one thing after another has been my lady friend lost her cell phone. And I had to go to Tennessee to get her son. And one thing after another. Just
Yeah, don't let that happen. The head loves to pile on. So yeah, don't that's you're gonna roll down the hill with that one.
I'm spending too much time in bed. All I want to do is lay in bed because I can only get about 3 hours or so at night to do something that I feel is what
Hey, I want you to try to, do you have a TV?
yeah.
Why don't you binge something like Bloodline?
I've been watching some music which might find helpful. A lot of good music, meditation music, etc.
You know, Amelia's f father is 94. No, 90. He's 90 also in Italy, and he just watches a lot of movies.
Well,
It
I, I,
takes the attention off of his locale and he gets absorbed in them. I think it's a pretty wise move.
well, I've tried everything under the sun, in the past 70 years, whatever.
Why don't you, you know, yet have you ever watched True Detective, the first season?
No,
Check it out if it's not too expensive. True Detective, the first season is very great. It's got Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey.
it's not on Netflix.
No, I think it's you gotta may have to it may be on Amazon, but
True.
it's one of the it's excellent and it's not
So
gory
one
or anything. Well, it is a little weird, but yeah.
thing, it's one
The
movie.
point is to take the attention off of you,
I
and
understand.
if you get absorbed in something, you're not
Hearing
absorbed in yourself, which is cool.
this, for months or years. I mean, I've been listening here for several years now, and I get the message, on an intellectual level, but that doesn't seem to sink on whatever you want to call it, the depth where it works, where I can actually say, well, that worked. That alleviated some issue, it resolved some issue. Uh, So I'm so
In a way, it's um, you know, this didn't change. You know, my idea of traveling lighter was everything was good would be great. That's not how it transpired. It just allows, it seemed to give me the ability to travel lighter through whatever life has in store for me. So life
all
has
I'm
something in
asking for.
store.
That's all I'm asking.
Hmm?
That's all I'm miracles. But I would like to travel a little lighter. And I also have a question about what you're speaking about.
I I can't hear it. Just can everyone hear him? I can't hear him that well.
I have a lot of sound coming from that
Yeah.
water,
You,
background.
yeah, you're getting a lot of static.
I think he might have his his main screen might have the water toggle, the sound toggle.
Oh, from the website?
Yeah.
Oh,
He hears water. That's probably
yes,
what he's.
yes, that's the dilemma. Yeah, can you go, how do you tell them to go to the front page?
Can you minimize the screen you're on, William?
Minimize it.
Yeah,
Yes,
and see if there's a screen behind it that might have a
yeah, the
toggle
screen,
for sound.
yeah. It's the Zen Bitch Slap. It has a little audio, and one of the pages of the Zen Bitch Slap has water running, and you just got to move it into muting the water. Yeah. Each page has a sound. It's a little thing in the corner, right? The bottom. And it says,
Bottom or
close
top.
the Zen Bitch Slap page altogether.
hmm?
Yeah, you could close that page if it's open.
Like a,
Yeah, you can just close the Zen Bitch Slap page and keep where you are, the Zoom.
back. Leave and come back.
Hmm?
Leave and come back.
Yeah, I think you're good right now. I can hear you.
But I still hearing them.
Oh,
He wants to leave and come back, Paul.
all
I
right.
think
Leave
that's
and come
okay,
back, bro.
William.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
leave.
Just come up and put your little your real hand up, and we'll get back to you.
He's gone. He'll be back.
right. Yeah.
David, down under has his hand raised if you'd like to talk to him.
Well, it's not about liking or not liking, but yeah, let's go.
Well, I meant instead of waiting for William, that's all. I didn't mean anything. Well, everything's my fault, so don't worry about it.
That's right.
I'm Kathleen's instead of waiting for William go to. It's one good thing, Paul. I haven't got a question. It was just in what I wanted to say was just in something that you said to William about binge watching telly programs. As I've said before here, I think I've got two daughters. One who I've always called her squared away. My oldest daughter, she seems to get, she's 33, but she seems to get over perceived problems very, very quickly and moves on. And she just seems, like nothing's much is a hassle to her. Whereas my younger girl, she's 31 now, she, everything is a mountain to her, Yeah. But at the moment, she works on the oil rigs for 2 weeks away and then comes back and lives with me, or lives at home for 2 weeks with me. And she's always been a big TV watcher, like a binge watcher. So a couple of weeks ago or a week or so ago, she said, "Hey, Dad, there's this great new show called Yellowstone. I think it's an American show with Kevin Costner in it. It's about a big cattle ranch called Yellowstone in America." And she said, "Do you want to watch that?" And I said, yeah, I'll watch it with you, because it's very strange for her to sort of say that. When she lives with me at home, she spends a lot of time in her room and I spend a lot of time in the rest of the house. We sort of live together but separate, because she seems to always have these struggles going on. Anyway, we were sitting there watching it last night. We watched about 4 episodes of it. And one thing I noticed, and I've been noticing this a little bit lately, like for a fair while, I'm not sure how long, but we have so many laughs and good times with each other while we're just sitting there watching that. And I really recognize them, and sort of, it's like you sort of say, build a little monument around when you see something's really going great. I seem to do that a little bit these days without even trying to do it. It just happens. Whereas she does, to me, she doesn't see that, but she's happy a lot,
Yeah.
and so that's all I wanted to say about binge watching stuff is good. And the other thing I wanted to say is I downloaded and read that thing I think you said last week. What was his name? Michael Clark, and he
Richard Clark, yeah.
Richard Clark.
Faith
I,
Mind.
I put that on my phone, downloaded it, put on my phone the other day, and God, that's a really nice read. That like I love the little thing in that about have no opinion for things,
Yes.
and yeah, it was a really nice read. I've gone back to it a couple of times and just read it because I really like it. But yeah, that's
Great.
all I had to say. Yeah.
That's great. That's a very nice little. The thing is, it's not saying opinions are going to disappear. You're just going to give up your opinions. Yeah.
Yeah. Which
You're
is,
going to give up the ownership of opinions, and then opinions will go, there'll be free range opinions. They'll come and go, and yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's really funny because as soon as I read that, and then I've got my own business here, and I have customers and that like coming in all the time, obviously, and I sort of notice a fair bit with that people. A lot of people will start talking to you, and it's always a lot of the time it's a bit of a doomsday chat. Like, oh, look at the weather today, it's shit, or like, this person cut me off in the car, or whatever. And since just reading that little thing, it's sort of like I have an opinion. I'm neither here nor there
Yeah.
about it, so it doesn't have an effect like it. Like I would either normally have the opposite opinion to it, or I'd agree like shit with them, But it's just, I don't know. It's just sort of washes over the top of nicely a little bit. Yeah, yeah.
Well, this is how traveling lighter is expressing through David down under. Yeah, it's nice. Thank you for reporting. Yeah,
And
this is, you may have a miraculous effect, but it may be a very just, you may miss it because it's drip, drip, drips. Yeah. But in hindsight, you're going to realize something really changed because you traveled lighter through time, so to speak. Yes.
yeah, and
And
it is. It's nice to notice it. It's like, I'll give you another quick example. A friend of mine who's a really nice friend of mine, he actually put me onto you initially. It's Sean, and I met his father once a month ago, and he was in chemo. Like his father had cancer, but when I met him, he was in remission, and he looked pretty good to me. Look, nice to meet you and everything else. Anyway, I got a text on my phone 2 nights ago, and Sean said, "Oh, I just thought I'd let you know, Dave, my dad passed away." And I've in my life, people I've loved and known have passed away, and it's in the past, and in a weird way, I've avoided them and run from that sort of thing. And then so I got this text message, and straight away I just rang him, and said, "Look, my condolences for your father, and this and that." And that's just not something that I would have normally done. And that it's sort of like all to do with this, like Sean's father passing away was never about me. You know what I mean. But I've had some close friends. Like I had a friend 15 years ago, a great friend of mine. We used to see each other 4 times a week. He was young. He was 40, and he was dying in hospital of cancer, Paul. And I didn't even go and see him. When he was passing away. But anyway, it's a nice difference to see that difference now. So
and
and
remember, Dave, at any point during the day, you can just stop and just state this. Just say this statement: Blame Kathleen.
Yeah, that's in you. Well, I'm going to do that. Yeah. And I love coming here. You know, I love coming here the most because it's nice and relaxing. And I love it when other people share and say things because it's just, they're the same as me. All that shit goes on
Yes.
or has with me too. And it's nice to see that. It's a very helping. Yeah. Anyway, that was it. Yeah.
See, if, you know, what did they say? We are the dreaming of the dream. We forget that. Yeah. This is out of the Course. I don't like dream because it sounds like a thing, but this is how it says it. You and I are the dreaming of the dream. We forget that. Well, that got my curiosity triggered. How the hell am I forgetting that I'm the dreaming of this dreaming? Yeah, well, I humbly feel is because we fall into this idea of the act of being identified as a dreamt. Yeah, so we now that which is perceiving is taking itself to be a perceiver, and that perceiver is pictured as a thing. Yeah. So it says it has this setup. You and I are the dreaming of the dream. We forget it. Now, with that condition in place, forgetting that you're the dreaming, now we now give everything we're dreaming the power to affect us. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people are in that second aspect. They don't see that there was a projection. They just see like the cars coming straight at them. Yeah. They don't see that the meaning that these cars now have to you were given to them through you. Yeah. And why you're getting this meaning is because when the meaning is coming through you, it's coming through the dreamt, not the dreaming. And the dreamt has an ass, and now that which it's dreaming bites it on the ass. And I blame Kathleen for that also. There is there is a Course in Miracles, a manuscript that has blame Kathleen
Yeah.
written all over it. Somehow they expunged it, but I have one in the original manuscripts, and they vaguely talk to or point at Kathleen all the time. Yeah. So
Well,
you and I are dreaming this dreaming. What does that mean? Yeah. That without you, there isn't anything. Yeah. And you are giving everything all the meaning it has. Yeah. Now, the meaning that you're given things has a lot to do with what the meaning is going through. So if the meaning is going through the act of being identified as self, there's going to be a lot of self-centered meanings given to tons of shit. Yes. And for it to feel real, it has to see everything else that appears to be real. Yes. This is how it gains a reality. Yep. Through the dreaming. So instead of trying to change the meaning or change the things that have been given meaning, just see you're not that which is giving it the meaning. Yes. Yeah. So that the meaning can be given from another aspect, which is the dreaming instead of from the dreamt. Yeah. And at that point, it may happen with you that the dreamt, the serious meaning and the dramatic meaning it was given it will turn into a comedy, like a vast, full of comedic data. Yeah. And you will start laughing a lot more than you used to. And all this stuff will start occurring because you'll lose interest in trying to change the meaning of things when things are empty. And you'll see the source of where the meaning is coming from. And it's not the outside world. It's coming from where you are. Yeah. And when you see that you're not the dreamt, you're gonna recognize different meanings in the same old. Yeah. there's going to be new meanings hatching out of things. Yes, it's awesome. So, and so let's go back to Bill with the what is it called? The anxiety? What is it?
Oh, it's called a lot of things, but basically it's an anxiety. I'm a naval veteran, and I just wound up with an anxiety disorder.
An anxiety disorder. All right.
And
Disorder isn't in the anxiety. It's yeah.
at any rate, this has been since I've been in my 20s, so you know how long I've been going on.
Wow. Jeez. Wow.
I've been trying everything that you can think of. I mean, Rajneesh, you know, there's nobody that I haven't checked. I'm breathing, all the breathing,
Wow.
meditation.
We're all gonna fail you, bro.
I know, and I'm finding that out.
There
And
you go.
I don't want to fail here. So I'm trying to be attentive and listen.
Failure may be your greatest success, bro. It may be the greatest success.
But
And instead of like having it all or nothing, I want this to be completely removed. Just distract it. That's why we use the binging of TVs. I noticed when I had my knee operations, when I watched Bloodline, I forgot about the knee.
yeah, I understand, and I do that. I listen to some music sometime. I watch movies.
Yes. Well, you could become a master of lessening the pain. That would be a successful life.
Of course,
Not the pain, but the suffering, really.
to do that. I mean, obviously, I've done everything that you can think of on a spirituality realm,
Yeah.
and I find that hasn't been very successful.
Well,
But
it has been because it's failed you.
yeah, well, okay, you can take it that way.
Yeah.
But I just like to get enough relief to be. I mean, I'm in bed
Yeah.
most of the day, and I'm really getting frightened because I mean, I don't mind dying, but I don't want to keep on suffering like this. I'm causing other people a lot of stress also, and I'm kind of lost at this moment. I had to go through this cycle to get back on the line again, but I closed and opened, closed and opened. Finally, I'm back. Okay. Now, when you talked about occasionally about we have a seed assignment, a karmic seed assignment. Would you expand on that a little bit?
It's not karmic, it's a seed assignment. You know, the action figure has an ass and it's going to sit somewhere. So it's going to have things to do that may override the ideas of of thoughts about what you should do. You're going to be doing stuff, yeah. So you find yourself in a certain seed assignment. So I went through a life of addiction, came out, found myself in recovery. So my seed assignment was to have whatever that spirit was by giving it away. Yes, and so I grew into the value of service and all this stuff. And so there's a seed assignment. Yeah. And now I have a seed assignment coming to Satsang and stuff. Yeah.
That's not considered a karmic issue.
I'm not a believer in karma. I don't think, yeah, I don't think there's something, the karma may keep moving along and having effects, but I don't think there's a singular person or a thing that's accumulating tons of karma. Yes.
Did you believe it? What about previous lifetimes, etc.?
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe that in this dreaming, there can be previous lifetimes, but you didn't have any of those lifetimes because you don't have this lifetime.
I get that one.
Yeah, you don't have this lifetime. This isn't your life. Yeah, this is life. Just like everyone wants to jump into the idea of reincarnation, but it's based on a very lazy assumption that we've incarnated. Who says that? So karma has a thing of continuing on when certain things end. So let's say the karma does. I would say the karma has more of a life than you do. Yeah.
I like what you said about we're always on square zero
Yes.
on the whatever board we're speaking of. We're on the square zero, and no matter what you do moving around, you're still going to be back at zero.
Not back. You are always at square zero. That's what we are. We are
But-
reality. So we are square zero. And then other squares appear, and maybe we get lost in the appearance of square one, but it's in square zero.
Okay. Now there's another thing I'm going to just share, and then I'm going to finish up. Now, I've got some big insights recently. Now, I know I heard people talk about when you get sometime an insight, the big guns come out. I just wondered if I could relate to that. Is that a possibility?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening to me because I just feel like I crashed totally after these big insights.
Yes. Well, that can happen. That's a dualistic movement here. So yes, when there's expansion, there's a counter move, which is you know.
So how do I relate to that? I mean, I just accept it, or you know,
Well, just admit you can't accept it. It doesn't sound like you're at the point of accepting it. So just say, I'm not that which can accept it or can accept it. Yeah. You want to see the meaning. The first meaning is what's seemingly giving everything else the meaning. So right now, all right, I want to accept it. So now that thing that's been given a meaning says, I want to give it this thing a meaning, which is I want to accept it. Yeah. Just see if you're that one that all the meaning is coming through. You may not be. And therefore, the dances you have to do to dance with the meaning of that thing, you may be able to skip. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, you'll have a new dance partner. It may look like you're dancing alone, but you're joining a large group. Yeah. So, of course, for some people, when there's an expansion, there's a contraction. So because the head is a jealous god, it doesn't want to brook any other god before it. So when some information leaks in or leaks out, it wants to
it's a little,
patch that up quickly.
makes
And
a little rebellion.
well, yeah, and it wants to strike fear in you or anxiety. So
Yes.
yeah, who wants to? People's idea of peace may change if they get a lot of fucking conflict after they get introduced to it. So the system that's trying to survive brings out its guns. I take that as a great sign myself. So, yeah. A lot of things you believe, not you, but us believe, aren't going to kill you. Yeah. What's killing you is killing you slowly in a way. It's the bondage of this idea of self. Yeah. Yeah. So, karma, I think, if this dream is full of lifetimes, I would say the thing that moves from lifetime to lifetime is a karmic impression, but I don't think there's any one that produced that impression and any one that's going to get the effect of that impression. Yeah. I don't believe in the singularity of a thing. Yeah. So, but that's just a belief, neither here or there. Yeah. Yeah. So, but I don't like lifetimes and reincarnation and stuff. It's like something that knows it's finite, sort of just wet dreams about being infinite. Yeah. So usually you're never the cobbler or the guy that was sleeping in the fucking garbage can. You're a princess or a fucking, you know what I mean? You're not an extra in the movie. You're usually either the co-star or the star. Yeah. This is all mental imagination, I feel. So, yeah.
Okay, I think I'm
So
going to work.
let's say here, let's say in this world, there's impression and expression. And let's say this world goes on, and what we call a lifetime is like a little momentary flash. So let's say this thing goes on and on and on as much as infinite time can be, which is not infinite. And therefore, impressions migrate and then find expression, because this is a dualistic movement that spans maybe more than what you think is a lifetime. Yes, 80 years. Let's say here things happen and there's impressions. And then those impressions have a drive. There's no you, but there's a drive to express. Yes? Because this thing is like an accordion. It's a dualistic thing. Yes, as your breath is. You breathe in, you breathe out. Yeah, this thing, there's impressions, and then those impressions seek expression. I would say that's the karmic dance that moves. Now, that expression may come from an imaginary person, but it isn't the imaginary person's karma. Yeah. Yes.
Well, it's a little over my head.
Actually, karma, the movement of karma is much more substantial than the idea that there's a you that dies and then it becomes another you, but as the same you, on and on and on and on. Yeah. Yeah. So you've had a lot of experiences have impressed something on you. And if those impressions don't find expression here, they're going to karmically move and they're going to find expression. Yes? Because this is the breathing of the dreaming. Yeah? Yeah? Yeah. So that would be my opinion, humble opinion of karma.
Okay.
I don't believe anyone has it. I
It's totally
believe,
an
yeah.
impersonal belief then.
Well, yeah, that's what an action figure has. It has a personal belief or not. Yeah.
Or I meant to say impersonal belief.
Oh, impersonal belief. Yeah. An impersonal belief, you don't really have that much interest in the belief. Yeah, you don't. It's just it's interesting way to explain it, but I don't care because I don't care. Could you imagine if this thing called Paul started maybe 18 months after the birth? Yeah. How much concern and care it's been given in the head, and it's only going to live to 80 or 90? I mean, it's been inundated with incredible concern and care that turned like malicious because of the mutation of it, the amplification of self-consciousness. It's just way, yeah. And another point is another way of lengthening that is you are so important that you can't, what you did can't be undone by death. You have to show up again and experience the karma that you produce.
Or in other
I
words, you
see
could
that
say,
as an arrogant belief. I don't think we're that important here.
what I hear you saying is I'm really up the ass of self.
No,
Big
I'm not saying that at all. I'm
Oh.
saying the only thing that's up the ass of self is self, and I don't think that's us. So I do not believe you're up the ass of self, but I do believe self is up the ass of self.
There's a big
I mean, a lot of stuff that we speak about after death and before death, obviously, we're not experts. But I just, I question incarnation. I don't believe that. So reincarnation, I'm not interested in. It's just, I mean, if I wasn't interested in the first movie, I'm not interested that it got syndicated as a series. I'm not interested in it.
Go as far, can you go as far as say that there's no beginning for us?
Nor end, yes.
No beginning or end.
Yes. That doesn't apply to the action figure.
Well, there's the problem, yeah.
Well, that is, yes. Oh, well, that's good then. And check out who sees that as a problem. It's not you. That's valuable. Yeah. Yeah, it's not you. That which sees it as a problem is not you.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got that
We are
one.
not of this place. We are not of something happens and we're the observer of it. We're everything. Yeah. We're not this two dance movement. Yeah.
That's the thing that I got, just like I told you a few days ago, a very vast or, a deep, deep, deep insight. And then everything hit the fan a couple days later, heavy duty. So
Great. And and that's the way it's going to be. What is always going to be what is. We don't think so when the shit hits the fan, but what was first was what is. Yes? And it
and
was going to be there forever.
first is the non-existence of the being.
Exactly. Yes. No, the first is existence, and then that which we are is a non-existent thing here, seemingly. Yes? But first, this is like first there is no mountain. First, there is existence. Yeah. Then there's the non-existent thing. Then the non-existent thing appears as an existent thing, only to end up being a non-existent thing. But the beautiful thing is, before all that, during all that, and after all that is existence. Yes. Or that which is existence. I wouldn't say existence because that seems to be part of living. But let's say that which is before all this. Yes? Hmm.
Okay, Paul. Okay.
Yes. And, uh, I see value in distracting the head. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm doing the best I can in respect to that, but I'm still suffering. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Well, do you have any, what happened? I'll give you an example. This was very powerful for me. Obviously, I knew my mother quite well. She was my mother. And at the end, she was in a senior citizen home the last few years. And I wasn't there. I wasn't living in New York. And sometimes you see more about people when you're not seeing them every day. And you can see like someone's really changed in the 3 months, yes, that you were there first. So I used to go and visit her, and she'd always want me to bring beer, which I didn't do. And she would be wheeled out of the back of the place, and I would greet her. And so I saw her a lot this way. And this one time they wheeled her out, and she was lit up, unbelievable, super bright. And I was like, it was obvious. And then she was just telling me she just got off her phone tree because she called people that didn't leave their houses anymore. They weren't in a center or a senior citizen. They were living alone and they
yes,
didn't really get out much. So she had a list of people, and every Saturday she would call them. And just by doing that service, it brought out the best in her. I
I,
mean,
I also practice that with the
right.
relatives and friends that I know that are sick.
And
So
I had a guy doing that. I had a guy, one of my sponsors in AA was a guy named Cy, and Cy was in a garage when it blew up. The
yes,
gas of his lawnmowers, something happened and it just ignited, and he got 78% of his body third-degree burns. and he was in the hospital in San Francisco, and really in a lot of pain. And the nurse came in and asked him if he would see somebody who she thought was an alcoholic. And he was thinking, what an imposition. Don't you see I'm in fucking so much pain? But because of the principle of recovery, he said, all right. And the guy came in and they talked for about 3 hours. And then the guy left and he realized he hadn't felt the pain in those 3 hours. Yeah. He got absorbed with this other person. So he told the nurse, go down the fucking the tenderloin and just get everyone you can and bring them to the hospital. And it was just such a perfect example. And like even the satsangs in the early years, no matter what thing was going on in me, was completely forgotten, as if it did not exist, because it did not exist. Its existence was based on me. And I would, that hour, an hour and a half, completely gone. And then after the meeting, some of it would come back. Yes. But by its absence, I really realized the bogusness of its presence. Yes. Yeah. It was very powerful for me because, like you, in certain other ways, I have a lot of uh, things. Yeah. And I feel like I've been able to travel a lot lighter through it all because of uh, that recognition of something that seems so present in a second can be completely absent, tells me something about it. Yes?
Yes.
And I do not rely on something like that. I rely on that which is always here. Yeah, I do. And it's helped me immeasurably. And I found expression in service, and I find expression in satsang. And and a lot of times while you're in the expressing of it, there's nothing, no one's looking at the graphs and seeing how Paul's stocks are doing. Yes, it's just a complete vacation from Paul, so to speak. Yeah, it's not bad. And
I understand.
so yeah, by now you know how to do that, or at least put yourself in that position, and then instead of seeing it as not enough, maybe be grateful for how little or big it was. Yeah.
Help somebody find their cell phone, which they lost today. So I was able to be of some service.
Yeah, you're being of service now. Don't let the head tell you when you're being of service or not. Yeah, yeah, let's bypass the head, feel it in your gut, and then you'll become more reliant on that because it's reliable, obviously. And you'll, yeah, yeah. So there's the event that's happening, and then there's that which is reacting to that event, and then there's that which is seeing it. Sometimes we swing into the reacting point and we think that's us, but that is being seen by what we are. Yeah. Yeah. Just, you think you fell down the stairs enough, just one more stair, just do a backflip, and you'll see the reactive William and the suffering William, and you may see some bogusness in the second one, which will bring relief to the first one. Yeah. Yes. The suffering William doesn't need the observer William adding more fucking shit to it. Yes. And if you see you're not that, you may get relief as the suffering William. You're not going to get relief from the reactive William. It's not, yeah. So, yep.
Okay, Paul, thank you so much.
Hey, you're welcome. And you've been a lot of service to me, bro. I'm amazed anyone being 90 years old. First of all. And my ship is sailing in that direction. And I learn a lot so thank you very much for opening up to us today. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice to share with everybody. Thank you all for listening.
Oh, you're welcome, William. You're a lifetime member of Zen Bitch Lab.
You told me that 3 years ago, but I'll take it
No,
again.
it's a guarantee. What can I say?
Yeah.
It's like
All
a tattoo. Can't untattoo it.
right.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. I'll see you soon. And yeah, David Bitterman wants to come in.
Yeah, he does. Thank you, William. And
Thank
thank you, David
yeah.
down
Oh
under.
no,
Thank you, Hedderman.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I didn't have much to say. I just wanted to thank William and thank Paul. No, yeah, Paul said it beautifully.
Well, great. I thank you, David. Thank you for all the support and stuff. And we're not miracle workers. We're working under a miracle, literally.
Mhm.
But we're not miracle workers. I don't know whatever has in store for any of us. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I do know you can be touched by this ever-present condition, and it's miraculous, literally.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Everyone has a lot of quantification of heaviness, but lightness is difficult to weigh. Yeah,
Yes.
it is. I mean, it really is because it's mostly based on absence of something.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And the head has a difficult time recognizing any value in the absence of things. It wants presence of things. Yes.
Yeah.
But this is one place that really reminds me of the joy of actually doing nothing for an hour. Yeah, very nice.
Absolutely. Beautiful.
Yeah, and not being anywhere other than right here, which is the case. It's not like you should get a
Always.
for it.
Yeah.
It's a joy to be able to, see blue as blue and red as red. It's
Yeah.
yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah.
But thank you for sharing.
All right, brother. I'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Peace. Chill.
Susanna has shown her visage. Nice to see you, Susanna. Yeah. Eric, as always, and I think the problem with the what problem really, but with the Zoom will be fixed. But if not, if you know anyone, go to the website and then there's that new room number. Just punch that in. Yeah, I think that works.
Got
And
a
also,
little-
if you think you're having an incredible transcendent event and you're hearing water or like a Fiat 500 driving around aimlessly, when none of you go to the donation page, so you wouldn't know that one. But there's music and everything on every page of Zen Bitch Slap. And I think it's in the corner, what would it be? The corner, it says audio or something. And it's either colored and then you just hit it and it,
little button.
yeah,
That's
so.
down. Little toggle switch.
Little
and it says
toggle switch.
Yeah.
sound.
lower
I think
lower
it says
right
sound.
says
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, so exactly. So therefore, yeah. That way, then it will be clearer. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, anything else? I don't know. I'm gonna say goodbye. So Susanna,
I
David.
have to say something.
Oh,
if you don't
yes.
mind. Just thank you. Thank you to William for opening up with us, and thank you to Paul for his answer to that, which was miraculous.
Yeah.
And thank you to all of you. Happy Thanksgiving. That's all I want to say.
Oh,
Happy
great.
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Thank you,
Thanksgiving.
Catherine.
Other than I'll take all the blame for everything that happens to me.
Ah.
Thank you. I want really,
Why
there
not?
was this lady I knew, she moved to Australia, but this lady liked her a lot, but she could worry. I mean, unbelievably. And no matter what you say, she could turn it into pertaining to her. I mean, almost like at record speed. So I try to fool around with her to see how long it actually would take. And then I talked about a deer that I saw in Australia, and then she started talking about the deers in Mill Valley, California, that were jumping over the fence and eating a thing in like 15 seconds. Yeah. So then I realized, you know what? We're going to set an 800 number up, and we're going to have people call and give all their worries and concerns to her, and she'll worry about it all for you. Yeah. And then if you get worried about the worries, you could call her up, but by Friday, things, yeah, you could get back and she'll rest you, you know, you'll be rest assured that she's worrying about what you're worried about, that you were just, I would
Yes.
want to see how much she could take, you know, and maybe it would just explode into a whatever, but it was sort of whatever, you know. All right, let me go to the thing again. Another thing in recovery, fear is an emotion. Mental anxiety is the problem. Yeah, the mental anxiety is triggering the emotive effects of fear without an apparent threat. So people, we don't even have the words right. You know, we're like, I'm in so much fear today. No, you're not. You're in mental anxiety. Yeah. And you're not in mental anxiety anyway. Yeah. Whatever. Like, that's it. So, William Stamps, again, great. Stephen Mack, nice to see you. Soak it all up. James Olson, he's very happy about realizing he's never going to get it. It's perfect. Chris D, nice to see you, Chris. Enjoy, eh? Enjoy. Kerry, after a nice tortellini, a little satsang throw in there. Yeah, some little. All right. Anu, there she is. How are you, Anu?
I'm
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Paul. I'm really good.
Oh, great.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and thanks, William.
Miak in Australia, in Adelaide. Visiting
Happy
her mom.
Thanksgiving from Thursday to Wednesday. Happy
I know. Tell
Thanksgiving.
us
Thank you.
Is the Thanksgiving going to be good? Because you're already in it.
Well, we had a really nice magpie visit and bow down, and I sent you a photo of it. And that
Yes.
was reverence and gratitude. Thank you.
Oh, great. Fantastic. All right. So
Mhm.
we have something to look forward to tomorrow. We got the future told to us by an Aussie. And here's another Aussie, David. Nice to see you. Yeah. Gary C., my man in Placerville.
Happy Thanksgiving, you and everyone.
Yes, you too, my friend. Kathleen, you have now been absolved of all blame. Yes. Yes. You wore it lightly anyway, so that's good. Anyone else? I can't get to the other page. I only see the first page of the Zoom. So if anyone else is there, nice to see you. And I'll see you soon, everyone. And happy Thanksgiving. We'll be here tomorrow, 10:30 in the morning, 11:30. We're like the mailman. Rain, sleet, snow, it doesn't matter.
Thanks, Paul. It was, I turned 65 today. So, you know, they
Well, happy birthday.
said, but it's wonderfully meaningless to me. It's just a number.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah,
unborn
happy
day.
birthday.
Happy who
Birthday.
cares birthday.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, it's awesome. Tumbling down the road.
all right, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Paul.